Deanna Casey with Casey Aviation, and I'm here today again with our office manager, Stephanie, who once again has come out of her comfort zone to join us and to talk about kind of the process, like her side of the job. Sometimes as a office back-end person, you kind of get missed, but she is who keeps this place rolling. Oh. And so we're going to talk about scheduling and some of the challenges that come along with scheduling and getting on our training schedule and whatnot at Casey Aviation, and how we can help, one, so you know what to expect through that process, and two, how you can help as you're coming in as a client, make that process a little bit easier on both you and Stephanie.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I have the benefit, Stephanie, of you telling me and Joe exactly what we're going to be doing each day for the most part. We'll occasionally block off a day or tell you if we want to be in another part of the country or something like that. Yes. But for the most part, we look at our calendar, and you have us all lined out for our recurrent and initial trainings, and try to leave gaps in there for a little bit of personal time, which often disappear.
Yes, yes, more often than not.
Right. If people knew how little time we get off, they'd probably be a little bit shocked. But we try to mix it up. We love working with our clients. So we just try to mix it up by changing our view every now and then, and maybe we'll do it in Chattanooga for a week, or we've got a string of clients in the Pacific Northwest or over on the East Coast, and so we try to mix up the locale a little bit. But again, all we're doing is looking at the calendar and seeing who Stephanie told us to go fly with that day. Mm-hmm. So Stephanie,
yes,
when someone contacts you for training, now I should say, if you have purchased an airplane through us, if we were your buyer agent, you're automatically at the top of that training list because we know you're coming.
Yes.
We know you're coming. We know you're going to need a 4 to 6 day block for initial training. We can plan ahead for that scenario a little bit better than we can if you just cold call us.
Yes,
right off the street. Now, yes. And our guys who come back year after year, we've got a pretty good list of those, and we'll send out reminders, letting you know it's coming up. But Stephanie, tell us some of the challenges that you face with scheduling a cold caller, someone we've not seen before, we've not trained before, that just calls or emails you and says, "Hey, my recurrent is due this month. Can you fit me in?"
Yes. So Deanna and Joe both of you typically book out 6 to 8 weeks in advance. And so when somebody's calling in and wanting to get in that month, it's very hard. We're already full. And you just, unless there's a cancellation, I might be able to get you in, or sometimes, there's flexibility in the schedule, but more than likely it'll be the next month or sometimes even the following month, depending upon what you both have going on.
If they want to fly with me or Joe.
Yes.
Now we have 5 other associate instructors that do fabulous jobs for us. I cannot say enough good things about our associate instructors, Chad and Ken and Ference and Darwin. And John, they do such great jobs for us. And I know a lot of our clients that are watching this have probably flown with at least one of them at some point when they couldn't get on the schedule with me or Joe. So there are options to getting in less than 6 to 8 weeks out with us.
Yes. And surprisingly enough, even our instructors that aren't located here in Lufkin are starting to become full as well sooner rather than later. So, but more than likely I can get you in with one of them, and they're fabulous. I get wonderful feedback on all of our instructors. Clients seem to be very happy with them, with their trainings.
Yeah. So let me say, if you haven't flown with one of our associate instructors and Stephanie offers you that opportunity, take it. They are fabulous. Yes. Joe and I are so picky about who we allow to work with us and instruct for us. We want to give everyone the very best experience with the most knowledgeable instructors that we can find within this market. So whoever you get, you're going to have a great experience. And if you don't, of course, we want to hear about it.
Yes.
And we want the opportunity to fix that the following year. But I would encourage you to not hold out for Joe. When this first started, Joe basically did everything on his own. And he's managed to really grow this business and expand and, like I said, be very picky about instructors he brings on, ensuring that the quality that you get when you're with him and the knowledge you get from him is also imparted through our other instructors.
Yes.
So when someone comes in, so they're going to email or call you and they're going to say, hey, I'd like to get in. What does that intake process look like?
Now we have a form on our website, an intake form, and you can just go ahead and even upload your insurance, your pilot's license, your medical, and just submit that form. You can tell me if there's any sort of places where you want to focus on if you come for your training. It's a wonderful form, and once you submit that, I'll get it, and then I'll reach out to you and contact you, and we can talk more about the schedule and where you're based, if you have a preference on who you'd like to train with, things like that.
Yeah. And sometimes, these forms will be submitted or someone will send an email, and sometimes it's difficult. Although I know you try very hard to get back to people very quickly, same day most of the time. Sometimes it takes a day or three because, again, you have a life away from the office.
Yes.
I know. And so, we like for Stephanie to be able to have her weekends to herself if it's not on fire. But if something's on fire, she's going to be right on top of it. So if you send that email on Friday, be patient till Monday when she gets back in the office and back in her role as Casey Aviation, primo scheduler here,
Yes.
and making things roll again. But for the most part, you'll get a prompt response from her. She's very personable. She is not always into the Bacardi. That is because she's terribly afraid of the camera, and she's not into this either. Let me just clarify. It's a prop we thought was funny because we thought we needed something to get her in front of the camera.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
But it's not that bad.
No, not that bad.
So what are some gaps that you see? So someone has gone through the intake process. They've called, they've scheduled, they've sent you the intake forms. Where are some of the areas that you find you're having to go back and follow up on areas that people tend to miss? Like, are there things that you're asking for on that form that just aren't getting filled out for some reason, or?
I think the main thing is the insurance, is making sure we have Casey Aviation added as an additional insured, as well as the waiver of subrogation. I must have that prior to the training. As well as the videos that are the online video course completed. I think those are just two of the most important things. And I understand other people are busy as well, and they forget to get that to us. But unfortunately, we just can't train, especially without the insurance.
Right. So have your ground courses done in advance. And for those of you who are thinking this ground course is going to be done in a day, it is not going to be done in a day. It is a series of videos where we go into a fairly in-depth look at each of the aircraft systems, and you're going to spend probably 8 to 10 hours watching videos with quizzes at the end. So don't wait till the last day to get on your videos.
Yes.
Because that can be a hang-up. And if you think we're going to fly, if you show up without your insurance covered, you're going to enjoy more ground school.
Yes.
And a fairly wasted trip while we wait on your insurance broker to get us the information that we need in advance. So yeah, getting us that waiver of subrogation, naming that additional insured in advance of your training date is hugely helpful and helps us to maximize the time that we get to spend with you in an airplane.
Yes.
Yeah. So any other nuggets of wisdom or things that you just wish people knew we're more flexible on, would do anything you want to throw out to the masses on scheduling?
I think also if we schedule too far in advance, then we don't always have our managed aircraft trips on the calendar yet. So sometimes people have to then be flexible, and we may have to move your training.
That's true. So if you've gotten into the if you've fallen into the category where you've called and you've not gotten in, and you've had to ask for extensions from your insurance company, and you thought, I'm not doing that next year, and you go ahead and schedule for the next year as you leave here, when we almost never do that, because a year out we don't know where we're going to be or what we're going to be doing or anything like that. But even if you try to schedule 6 months out, you have to, that date needs to be a flexible date, because we don't know, we just don't have visibility that far out into what else Joe and I may be needing to do.
Yes.
Family obligations.
A ferry trip.
Yeah.
The ferry trips always seem to don't have hard dates until
Right.
they're supposed to go the next week. So there's just so many different caveats there.
Right. Okay. So that sweet spot for scheduling is really within that 1 to 2 months out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Great. So call us early, but not too early.
Yes.
Have all your groundwork, all your documents in order, and we'll try to make this as good of a learning experience and valuable expenditure of your time as we can.
Yep. That's perfect.
All right. All right. Deanna and Stephanie with Casey Aviation, giving you all the tips on how to make your scheduling and intake process go as smoothly as possible. Thanks for joining us.